You are now listening to the Melanated Movement podcast with Tess and Anne. We invite you to take a deep breath, open your mind, and prepare to go on this wild ride. Episode loading in 5, 4, 3, 2.
What up, what up, what up?
What up, what up? Hello, my love.
Hi. How are you, girl?
Hey, girl. I'm good. How you doing, girl?
I'm tired, girl.
Oh, my God. We're recording at nighttime. That's how dedicated we are.
It's funny we say that. Like, we didn't normally. Like, we got so used to, like, recording during the day. They were like, nighttime. True. But the original thing was us recording, like, 8, 9 o'clock. Like,
that's so true.
Oh, my God. I research, prep, outline, record, listen to it again, and then go back.
Now it's like nighttime. I'm dying.
Woe is me. Hey, fam. Welcome to another episode of the Melanated Movement podcast with Tess and Anne. This is your girl, Anne. Hey. Hey, Tess. Do you guys hate that?
Yeah, no, honestly, be honest. We'll still do it, but do you hate it?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I asked my partner the other day if she thought our theme song was corny, because she was helping me like listen to a few things. You know how I get high with like 5, 4, 3. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you know when you go back and you listen to it so many times, I'm like, wait, is it corny? And she's like, I'm like, what does that mean? Like,
it's not corny.
But then she's like, oh, it's your signature. I'm like, that's right. We're just gonna enjoy the ride, like it says, right?
When it says, it's your signature, like, are you trying into your signature is just to be corny? I mean, I feel like makes sense, but also, no, how dare you?
So I'm corny, is what you're saying? Okay.
Right? I feel like that's what's being said right now, and I don't know.
If I'm corny,
it be what it be.
Right. If I'm corny, babe, make sure it's Mexican corn, because it's delicioso.
Delicioso.
Man, Mel, if you're listening, we miss you, girl, because she be like,
I be like, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
This is what I be saying.
This is what I be saying.
You and your corny jokes, both of y'all.
Yeah, corny as fuck, and that's okay. Yeah. I feel like everybody has their tribe, and you're my tribe. And if we're corny, we're corny.
We're corny. I mean, we're just, this is the embrace all that I am era. My words are not making any sense. Exactly. Just be real, be true, be yourself. All of that.
All that. Mm-hmm.
So, have you been? How has Women's History Month, Women's Celebration Month treated you?
It was cool. I feel like I really enjoy the fact that everyone's been taking time to like post different women, like different pieces of like women's history, honoring different women, and people have had like conversations, have had events. I just feel like it's been very like, it feels like a warm hug.
I like the way you said that. It feels like a warm hug. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. How has it been for you? Now that we're at the close of it.
I feel like this is an excellent question. I unfortunately feel as though I haven't been intentionally participating and partaking. Yeah. Like, it's almost like one of those things like, oh, it's there, right? I feel like for Black History Month, for example, I was very much like, yeah, I'm blackity black, right?
Black on black on black,
right?
Black on black.
And celebrating that. And I feel, maybe because I think of my Blackness a whole lot more than I think of my womanhood. Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it. However, though, like, I feel like I've also been taking part in events and activities that celebrate women. But like, for example, like March Madness. I've been watching like some of the basketball games, some of them against my will, but we're not going to talk about that.
To be honest, I've been waiting on you to give me the update. I don't have enough time in the world to sit down and watch something, honestly.
Yeah, well, you know what is it like? Date someone who likes sports. They said like it will be fun. They said,
but you like sports, Tess.
I mean,
you are a sports head. You know when the season starts, ends. You know when they're training. You know when it's the D League versus the girl. Man. You know the stats.
Speaking of which, like I don't know if you knew that the NFL has, I mean, I don't think it's called a rivalry, but while we're off, in the off season, there is another league that is owned by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Actually, it used to be the XFL and the AFL. Now they have merged to become the UFL, and so they have spring football.
Yeah. I knew about the summer
Your
league.
eyes are just glazing over right now. I'm talking about.
My eyes been glazed. It's like 2 p.m.
So the first game is actually going to take place this Sunday. The first game is this Sunday, and it's a spring league. Sunday. They have like this team that is based in DC. It's called the DC Defenders. So I'm actually looking forward to that. Also. So March Madness, been watching the NCAA women's season. Now they're like down to the Sweet 16, and that's where I'm like, okay, now we can talk, because it's like there are fewer teams that I have to keep up with because it was just too
16? Much. But now you're
Sweet 16. Yeah, there were so many. I don't even know how many teams there are, but there's a lot. I mean, if you think about the amount of colleges and universities there are, and then think about like the majority of them have like a legitimate, like a Division I, I think is what they call a basketball team.
Yeah.
So like if you think about that, and it's just kind of like dwindling, like the top ones down to 16, and then I think
16 carriages.
I think it's called Sweet 16, and like 8, and then 4, and then the finals or whatever. So it's a lot, but now I'm gonna start to like plug in, and then the last thing, and I'm done talking about sports, but we're talking about women's, but like celebrating women, right? I went to my first women's soccer game last weekend. Washington Spirit, again a DC based team. Trinity Rodman, if anybody doesn't know, like people don't know who Trinity Rodman is, get to know who she is. Yes. She is Dennis Rodman's daughter, and a freaking beast on the field.
I can only imagine.
Isn't that crazy? She actually is part of the U.S. women's national team. Her along with this other woman, Kate Kruger. And they both play for the Washington Spirit. And I got and I got to see her play, and it was amazing. And that's she's very good. Like honestly very impressed.
If your dad is a professional like sports player or a professional anything, if you end up in the same sport or in the same profession as your parent,
you have a lot to live up to. You have large shoes to fill. Yeah,
there's big things to uphold to, and there's probably huge shoes to fill considering the size of some of these basketball players.
Right? Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Did you ever watch the stories how like Dennis Rodman talked about how he broke his third leg more than once? There's a story.
Penis?
No, don't say the word.
I didn't say the D word. I just said penis.
You can't say that.
Why not?
Not on YouTube, girl. YouTube is like, no words. You got to change your words for different things now.
Oh, okay. Well,
the censorship is different.
Okay. It's Popovich.
I don't want to go too far in, but anyway, if you go onto on Fun is Funny because it's on YouTube, there's an animated version of him telling his story. I forget what show it is. However, one of the stories he tells of one of the times he has broken his third leg more than once, which is wild to me, because the idea of one time is already too much for me. You get what I'm saying? So one of the stories he was telling was he was laying on his back, he was in the bed, right? And his partner that he was with, a woman, was on the other, like she was standing. Imagine you're laying on your bed and the door to your bedroom is across the room, but directly in front of your bed, but like enough room to run and jump. Key. Right. That's the key.
Right.
So old girl was like, oh, let's try something new. Let's try something fun, because, like, you know, Rodman is into that fun stuff. So old girl runs from the door of the bedroom to the bed, leaps into the air, opens
like
up
to try to land on it. Are you being serious?
I'm dead ass. You can look it up right now. I don't know if it's still on YouTube. Oh my gosh.
Are you?
But it's a story that Robin has told. He literally said, "Oh girl jumped on his third leg, and when she landed wrong, and his third leg broke, like, to the side, and he had to go to the hospital to fix it."
My whole thing is, I don't think there are any types of, and we've had an episode on kink, on different types of kink before,
but not Rodman kink.
But that might be a new book. Does that even qualify though? Because, like, I'm trying to imagine, like, in what world do you think, you know what would be a great idea? If you just did a somersault and tried to land on my third leg. Like, I feel that
there's a song about it, not about Rodman.
It's
but
wild.
Like, so imagine he is an athlete. He is a professional athlete, right? He's probably gone through many different things, probably messed around with many different people. So he's probably trying to add excitement into his life. He's like, whatever you want to do, babes, I'm down, right? So you never heard that song, jump on it. That's right, sit on it. No? Girl, that's right.
I don't know if I should say fortunately or unfortunately I've not, but no, I have not.
jump on it. It's I think it's Trina and Trick Daddy that sings that one.
Okay.
That's right, jump on it. And then she goes, that's right, suck on the C word. C-L-I-T. That's right, suck on it.
But do you know that they're strange though? On the same topic of, like, Dennis Rodman and his daughter. I mean, I don't know if things have gotten better since. What a way
to segue from a broken third leg to, like, now let's put him and his daughter in the same sentence. I mean, it's my fault for doing that story right after you were talking about her, so I do apologize. But the segue was crazy. Speaking of Rodman, let me tell you about his relationship.
Speaking
with
of third
daughter.
leg, you see, okay, here's my no, but, like,
oh my god,
it came from a very innocent place, and I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you why.
Did it?
Because if you, like, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I hope you
so.
Because I can be very, oblivious to connection sometimes. My apologies. The whole thing is, like, how do babies come to be? Like, how does it happen, right?
Yeah.
It's through reproduction. And how do you go about, reproduction, copulating? How do you do that? By somersaulting onto somebody's third leg and succeeding instead of breaking it, And so she's a direct outcome
of his successes,
his escapades. Yeah, and that's probably why they don't talk anymore. I don't know. Or they're estranged. My understanding is that they have been estranged. Like, he has 3 daughters, if I'm not mistaken, and they for the most part they're like, nah, we're good.
Nah, we good. Mm-hmm. You can. I don't know. I don't want to.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Wish you the best. Hey. So, what do you want to talk about today?
So I appreciate you giving me a little snippet of your life briefly, of your escapades, your March Madness escapades. Yeah. I can't wait until the summertime where I can have more screen time, less school, more work, but still more, like, brain, if that makes sense.
I love how you call it screen time. I really do love how you call it. Yeah, that more. Let's have more screen time. I feel really bad because you just sound to me like you don't have. Yeah, except instead of parents, it's just school. Like,
yeah. So, like, for example, when it comes, I am going to talk about screen time really, really quick. So, like, I work on my computer, I read on my computer, I do my assignments on my computer, whatever. And to break that apart, like, I've been printing a lot of things that I'm reading for, like, my courses, which is a great idea. Outside the fact, like, sometimes they give you, like, 100 pages, and the idea of printing 100 pages just doesn't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it hurts my soul just hearing it.
It does. However, I'm not going to lie, I have been printing because flipping the page is, I feel like I get more, like when I'm doing like research and I'm writing and it's on my computer and I'm like going back and forth and comparing, I still do that. But like it printed, I'm like, okay, I can flip through. I'm taking in the information. But girl, I read so much. Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, the screen time, like the computer itself has been giving me like crazy migraines. So I've been closing my computer and then just reading the paper. So
has that helped?
Oh yeah, it has.
Okay, good.
It has. I feel like by having the physical paper, it gives me a sense to kind of get away from my computer, which I love. So like on my lunch break, instead of bringing my laptop out with me on my lunch break when I'm at work, I just take out my paperwork and I read and I highlight and I make my notes. And then when I go to class, I do take notes that when my professor is speaking on my computer, I like to keep my notes together when it's time for me to study. However, I have my paper next to me that I've been writing on, and I feel like it like me writing physical notes really helps me like take it in versus like typing it on the computer. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah. But
yeah,
during the summer,
you got to do what works for you.
Period. During the summer, this is so funny. During the summer, I want to watch more movies. Like I want to watch more movies. I want to watch more TV. I don't want to be lazy though. I do want to go out and have like a good summer. Like I want to be naked on a beach somewhere. However, I do want to watch like some movies.
Or just let me know. I mean, I don't have any movie recommendations right now, but if you need any book, so I've been. Can I say smut on?
Who knows? Try it.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, well, it's already out. So
smut.
One of the most satisfying findings of late for me has been realizing like there's a host of communities that are just very much into reading, you know, and I don't even want to put reading quotations, but I'm doing the quotation like signed, because a lot of times when you're thinking about reading and apparently putting things in quotations allows for balloons to start floating the screen. Anyway, I wonder what else can be done. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I get distracted.
The ADD is crazy.
My meds wore off. So
mine is strong.
They're pushing through.
I doubled my shit. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna need an adjustment, or maybe I should wait for like the sun to be fully out to see like, is it me Jesus, or like is it like time
the
for
seasonal?
Yeah. Because let me tell you, the seasonal stuff was like real, and it was scary and a lot. I digress, and we've been doing that. What was I talking about? Literature, reading.
Yes,
you're talking about reading. Yes. So I've like, you know, scrolling social media, whatever, realize, and you know how the algorithm and also your phone is always listening to you. And so for a very long time, I have been a long time subscriber to spicy books.
Ooh, spicy.
Honestly,
Caliente
truly confession.
books.
And then like, I feel the queerer, the better. But
it's
I don't
funny because you're more into queer books, and I feel like I don't read too many queer books. I read just regular. I think it's just an exposure thing too. Like like something catches my eye, I read the back, I like it, I'm in it. But like it takes like word of mouth for me to go look for a book. You know what I'm saying? I don't purposely go into the queer section looking for books. I literally, if I want a book, sometimes I just browse, and then whatever catches my eye, like I'll grab and I read.
Really?
Yeah.
You are brave, and I commend you.
Brave?
Yeah, because you just go and you just pick a book at random. I can't do that. I need to go down a rabbit hole and read like 500, not 500, that's an exaggeration. Yeah. I need to read at least a solid 10 reviews for a 10? Book. And yeah, at least in order to like get the, I look at the highest ratings first, and then I'm like, okay, well, what made somebody give it low ratings? And then I analyze it, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? Is it worth my time? No. Do I want to find out and be disappointed? Yes, let me find out. But in terms of like my love for queer books, I blame this author, and I blame it in her best ways, because like she really opened up my eyes. But also Casey McQuiston, like spicy queer books. Casey for sure. Red, White, and Royal Blue, and it's like and it's adapted into a movie, and it's on Prime.
Okay, I'll watch the movie. I couldn't
It's
get into
really
the book.
good.
Oh my god, I gave the book back to Tess, and Tess was like, "What do you mean you didn't get into it?"
You didn't get to read it. I was like, it's. I mean, I feel that it has its audience, and they got me. You know, like just knew what to write, and I think like there's something about writing that I feel like if it's like the more it's set up in prose, like the more I like it. And it's like the way that they write, the way Casey writes is absolutely incredible. And I just like got me down this rabbit hole. I'm like, what else can I do to satisfy this void that I now feel and that I must fill as soon as possible? And then that like hence my journey towards that. But authors like Adam Silvera, who also like writes very like young adult, but very like poignant, hard like reality type books, but are just like really good. Is also a really great author. But what made me feel really good, and in order to wrap this up, what makes me feel it was very satisfying to discover, and maybe my phone was listening to me, or my phone was just like the algorithm was algorithming.
Always listening. Always listening.
Absolutely,
don't worry.
Absolutely wild. So like in some ways, I'm like, thank you, because now I've discovered that a lot of people are like, when people say, "Oh, do you like to read?" They're like, "Oh yeah, I love to read," and thinking like self-help books and very serious like nonfiction.
Badass is a great self-help book.
I do like you. I like You Are a Badass. I also like the subtle art of not giving an F.
Yes,
by
I read those back
Mark
to back.
Swanson. It's really good. Also Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Phenomenal. Furiously Happy, I forgot who wrote it, but anyway, and it like those are sparks, like like they're like kind of peppered in to like my very long relationship with spicy romance. Like I love a good like happy ending story, but the spice in between like is also like great. And finding out that a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, like that fictional stuff, but also with spicy pepper and people are like, give it to me. Like there's this huge audience for like fairy smut, and this huge audience for like magic smut and dragon smut, and I feel like we're just like the adults who never grow up and like who let us be adults, because these are the kinds of things that we're into and we love reading and love escaping into. The dragons grow up too. I feel like there's a big audience. Yeah, did you see the dragons grew up too? For sure. I love you so much.
The same dragons you're reading about when you're younger, when you get older, you don't have to change your preference in what you like to read. It's just good for you to expand it. I feel like as we get older, we're like, oh, we need to read the self-help books. We need to do all these things to organize our lives and our minds and whatever. I mean, you can. Because I feel like it's always good information that you can take or leave, or put certain things in your toolbox and leave the rest, whatever it is. However, if you like to read about dragons, girl, read it. Do not let society change the things you like because of the expectations that we put on ourselves once we get to a certain age.
That is the validation that I needed to hear without knowing that I needed to hear. So thank you for giving me permission. I shall continue on my quest.
Oh, I wanted to say, one way I do look for books, because I do like to find like Black authors. I do like to find like female authors or whatever. So I'll follow a few like book pages on Instagram or something like that, or a book talk or whatever, and I'll see what they recommend and I'll screenshot it. And if it's available in the library near me, like that's what I'm saying. Like word of mouth is really a big thing for me, but I don't go to the point of looking for reviews outside of the first, like you're like, hey, read this, it was amazing, period. I'm gonna go. That's all you need to like say less. Yeah,
I am impressed.
Thanks. But I'll go and I'll find the book, and I always read the back. I read the first few pages, see if I'm getting in the mood for it, pick it up. I know the thing is really crazy. You like that book? That book can be done in like 2 days, and then go back and get the next one on the list. That's been my thing. Oh, I loved it when I used to work next to the library. That library card active all the time. I love that. It was good.
I feel like I need to go to libraries more. See, the thing about it is also that we have gone into such a big like consumerist type of society that even those things have become like obsolete. I feel that even like looking at videos of like book talk or like reels of like people who absolutely love to read, they show these, oftentimes they'll show like these like crazy elaborate libraries or a mountain of books. And there are even videos of like, there's a difference between loving to read and loving like the books, and it's just people buying a bunch of books. And I mean, nothing wrong against it. I just think about like what would that feel like, again, like building that sense of community. It's like, oh, I have this book and I loved it, and I want to share it with you, and then sharing it. And I feel like that's the whole concept of a library. And we're not helping with those institutions remaining afloat.
Right.
And I'm part of the problem too, you know. And so like you mentioned the library, I'm like, oh, you know what, this is a great idea. I should rely on those more instead of just every time I want to read something, either I get in like Kindle Unlimited or something, or I go and buy it, you know? So thank you for bringing that up.
I like libraries. I like going to them. I feel like it's something that I like to do, things that take me out of my norm, because I feel like it focuses my brain. So when I go to a library, I feel like now, like, it just gets me to zone in. Also, I am I also do the audiobooks to the library as well. So like I'll go and I'll either go pick up the book and I'll listen to the audio. Like if I'm obsessed with the book, I have the physical copy of the book. I have the audiobook. The audiobook will like play in the car, like when I'm driving to work, from work, whatever. Get home, open the book and keep reading. Or like if I'm like hanging out like at home or whatever, like I'll play the audiobook and I'll physically flip through it, especially if I've like read it before. I just want to hear it or touch the pages. I like to do that. So I use the library has so many apps now to where you can do the audiobook checkouts. So like I'll do the audiobooks, I get the physical books, and we just make that thing. Put that thing on rotation.
I love that. Another genre, and then I think we've been talking about books for a while, which just speaks to how corny and nerdy we are.
We tend to talk about a book or two.
I also really love I love poetry, and I love like discovering new artists. And speaking of Black authors, this one, her name is Upile Chisala, and she wrote oh my god, I forgot the name of the book, but I actually took a screenshot of this, and it's a very short one, but they said stay, love will grow, your heart said go, you don't know the first thing about gardening.
I love that.
Right? Right? I feel like such simple prose, and yet it felt like a bit of a gut punch, you know?
What's the name of the book?
Her name is Usile Pisala.
How do you spell that?
It's Upile, Upile, and last name is spelled Chisala. She only has like the one major publication. So if you just type her name, you'll be able to find it. I did take like a picture of her book, but I can't seem to find it right now.
We'll find it.
Yeah. Really good. I mean, I have it. I own the book. I bought it. I went, oh my God. So when I was in Portland recently for work, and I heard about like one of the largest bookstores in the country. Haven't checked if it's in the world, but it takes up an entire block, and that thing has like 4 floors. And I was like, how am I going to fit all of these books? And I managed to buy like 4 or 5 of them, and and one of the books that I purchased was actually from her.
Oh, nice.
And I got 2 more, and I got Pablo Neruda's love poems, and it's like hitting the spot. Anyway, okay, I'm done.
We'll put the pictures of the books on, because we do have a little highlight on our Instagram that is called book recommendations. So the books that Tess is recommending, we're gonna put them on our highlights. That way, if you guys are interested in joining, I guess, the reading circle with Tess, you could check it out and see what you think, and then also let us know what you think. See if your taste is a little bit similar to Tess.
Yeah, I mean, we should do a book club, guys. Like, let's just like all start reading. I promise there will be above the belt, like, you know, good books. Like, they'll be appropriate
not like Black
to
Marxism.
all audiences.
Or like, I just read
nothing nihilistic unless you're into nihilism. Nothing about like nothing doomish. There's
no
one
capitalism,
book,
no globalization.
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit of capitalism. It doesn't hurt anybody. If you're into like Japanese, like in like arcane type of history, esoteric stuff, like She Became the Sun is one of the books that I've also picked up. And it's my god. Oh my god, you've heard of it?
I heard about that one.
It's really good. See, I don't only read spicy books.
You stepped out of the fuego.
Once in a while, you gotta be like, ooh, let's see what's out there.
let me read a little something else, less smut. No.